So I took the legume, I grabbed him by the collar, and I'm beating it up and I'm punching him in the nuts and I'm beating it up. And he's like, "Why? But why, Carolyn? I thought you were a friend." And I said, "Because I felt like I wanted a salted peanut." Did you get it? Did you get it? I took the legume, beat it up because I felt like I wanted a salted. No. Well, somebody at least applied to the booby joke yesterday, but I think they took it too seriously, guy. This is a conspiracy show,
Yeah,
a bit of satire. I'm
right.
a very free person.
Very. It's fun. It's all in
It
fun.
was not about it is a little bit about the jokes though. You can't. I'd be crying
Anything.
all the time if I didn't laugh.
Yeah.
I would be.
Too much going on. Not too. Good evening, everybody. How are
Good
you?
evening. Good evening.
Always laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. I've always said that.
Let's see if
That's why.
give
Just
people a bit. Yes, it is. That's exactly right.
mhm. That's why my name is usually
You know, Joe, before we start,
yeah.
I'd love for
Just
you to
before
tell them. I didn't even get to tell you my dream actually, did I?
you, no, you
But
did
what
not.
but what word did I use that you said was kind of important today?
Cars.
Cards. I had a I had a dream. I mean, you can look for conspiracies and coincidences and all this, or it's just smacked in your god. I'll take that back. It's smacked in your face. Almost like I don't want to blame God for anything. I think we're God, so why would we blame ourselves? Um, yeah, I had a dream about futuristic vehicles. I don't think it's about futuristic vehicles, right, Joe? But
Right.
mind you, when I dreamt about 9/11, um, it was spaceships and stuff that took it down. It wasn't planes. And I had that dream quite a few times. And it was different buildings. It wasn't the World Trade. I wasn't like, some kind of psychic. It was just, it's still bizarre. But today I took a nap and I had a dream about flying vehicles. Now the sky was darkened except for a row of vehicles in the sky and drive like as if they were on the floor. This was like their lane in the sky, and it was all lit up. I'm not sure if there was one or two lanes. You could hardly see the what type of flying vehicles these were. But then just just like it's always like this in my dream. When I think
Mhm.
things are amazing enough, something more amazing happens, or something even more futuristic. People were not ready for but that floating island thing that I keep thinking about drove on top of all those cars in the air. It drove,
Right.
flew on top. So it was like, first of all, I'm seeing cars that fly, and then I'm seeing these enormous shit. Well, at least the one, and it was flying on top. You know, like when you go on the shoulder, like when you're driving in the car and you go on the
Hmm.
shoulder to get.
I do.
This is what this thing did. Instead of waiting with the cars in sequence, it decided to go on top of all the cars, and it was huge, and it scared people. I have dreams about spaceships. I used to constantly, and now it seems to come back a little bit. Anyhow, so then
Anyway.
Joe says, "Are you freaking psychic?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "We're going to talk about vehicles today."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay."
Isn't that weird?
Used to it though.
That is just
I mean, what are
so
the ch really? What are the chances, guys, that I it was such a, it was, I remember the dream so well that I actually told my husband about it before he went to sleep. He's going to New Jersey. He's got like a 5 a.m. flight, so he's asleep. But yeah, that I could see it clear in my mind. And then for you to say that, but I'm used to it. Used to the conspiracies. Do, 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 do.
it's just so wow, isn't it? So here, let me tell you what it is.
Yes, please. I don't
And,
even know what it's about. I'd like to know.
well, they're saying that this 14 members of this group. had stolen $5 million, actually $4.9 million worth of cars from the Dallas Fort Worth International Airport. About 52 cars worth that much money. They're targeting high end
Right.
vehicles,
Right.
high end muscle cars and luxury SUVs. In 2023, they stole 142 vehicles from that airport. And it's
Doesn't that
there's a
seem weird
ringleader.
that
Go ahead.
that just happened before and they didn't put up better
Well,
security?
it's been going on for a long time. It's like Texas, New Mexico, Utah, and Nevada. Okay, there's one guy that was busted. He's 37. They're calling him one of the ringleaders. His
Right.
name is they named him Yo Hernandez Frometa. Right. He uses this thing called Autel device,
Right.
which is an auto diagnostic tool that reprograms key fobs. Okay. That's how they get, see, when they can walk up close to your house and they can take this box that he has and it allows them to get into your car and program a key fob that's in that box so that they can take your car. And that's how they do it. It's so weird. In Denver, a group in
Well, they
Denver,
always figure it out, you know? They always,
yeah,
I mean, this is
yeah, they
because
do.
you know the same guys that create it
Well,
are the same guys that give the hints away of how to, you
right.
know it.
Right. Well,
They're all the same
they
fucking
sell it for
people.
drugs. They get these vehicles, they steal them for drugs. They sell them to the Mexican cartels for drugs. That's what they're doing. 190 vehicles were stolen out of Colorado and sold to the Mexican cartel, the Sinaloa cartel.
Sonola
Yeah,
sounds Indian. Native American Indian, guys.
it is. Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Sinaloa is Mexican. That's Mexican.
I, yeah, but I just
But
said
it's
it
south.
sounds like,
I get you. I get you.
do you? Are you sure? I might have to repeat myself for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty picture.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing this New Year's Day? I think it's been
It
an
has
okay
been a slow
day.
day. Been a slow day. Getting ready for 19 more days. Tomorrow it'll be 18 more days. We'll be waiting.
Come on, Trump. Oh, and
And
he
then
does this thing,
fireworks.
Trump. I'm like,
Yeah,
where did he get this thing from?
yeah.
This new dance. He's like, ah.
But they're already
He's
starting.
taking
He
after me
said
because
he's
I
already
like to do
starting.
the finger things.
Yeah. And he claims to have already started, and I believe he's already started. People are already looking up to him. You know, they're starting to behave. They're coming around. They're starting to say, okay, okay, okay.
How are they starting to behave when we're having so many
I
problems,
don't
like
know.
people
I don't.
stealing
I
cars? How many cars
Everybody
was it?
says there's a lot of them.
I want one. No, I don't. I was talking,
140, 142 in 2023, and that's just at one place.
I was telling Joe earlier today how how it is driving in the city.
Oh yeah.
So
New
you could
York, I never
you
drove
could
in New York.
work maybe 5 miles away, guys. And it would take you, and I'm not even talking about parking. Never mind parking. If you didn't have parking, um, 5 miles could take you 40 minutes. I mean, it's just it's ridiculous. I was okay, I even looked it up, right? From one of my jobs. This was the asbestos company, roofing and asbestos I worked in. It was in Red Hook. So Joe was like, "Well, look up how long it takes to drive there." And I used to drive back and forth, but I know sometimes I job would pick me up or whatever. I don't remember exactly how long it took, but it said 16 minutes without traffic, and I just laughed at that.
Yeah,
Without traffic? What is that? I
yeah.
don't think I've ever once seen. any part of the city without traffic. So 16 minutes, right? In the car, let's say about 30, 35. And only because this was a straight line from Bay Ridge to Red Hook. But I explained to Joe what I would have to do. So I'd have to walk to the subway. That is a good 10 to 15 minutes. Then I would have to take one of the trains, either R or the N. If I was lucky, or I'd probably take the R at this point and go to the F train, which is I'm on the other side, but that's the train that the woman went up in flames on, right? But I would take it on Smith and Ninth. So I'm transferring to my either third train, second or third train by now, because the N train is faster. So the R train is local, but if I could catch the N, I would take it because it would miss a few stops. You would think this saves time, but you would have to catch it, you know?
Easy.
So mind you, this is rush hour. Okay, you're not alone. There's billions of people knocking you down, people looking under your skirts, little kids and what. I'm not even kidding about that. That's another story for another time, right? So then get out of the subway after the F train, go up and take the bus. All right. Um, and luckily when I got off the bus there, it was maybe a 3 minute walk. It was like a block and a half. That was nothing. So and that would be maybe a 2 hour journey if you were lucky, an hour and a half for something that says it would take 16 minutes in the car driving straight without traffic. That is New York, my friends. It's probably, I don't think anywhere else in the world is like that. Not even California, because California is like New York and Florida together,
Mhm.
you know? You can't really live in California without a car. You can live in New York. I was telling Joe, like, even in Bay Ridge on 86th Street, you had all the big companies there. Um, we didn't have Dick's. What was the other sporting goods store?
Big Five.
No,
We had
can't.
Dick's. We had Big Five, Dick's.
Well, we had a Century 21. We had the Whiz there. Remember the Whiz? We always
We
had
didn't
like,
have the Wiz. We didn't have Century 21 either.
do you understand? Like, this is 6 blocks. This is not even a quarter mile to walk
Yeah,
for me. And you got
yeah,
like hundreds of people walking around 86th Street because you had like Zales there. But before that, you used to have little mom and pop shops. And there
yeah,
were still some when I was around there, like
yeah,
selling gold. And so I bet they're all gone. You
yeah,
can't afford the rent, only the
yeah.
banks.
Dwayne said, "Good evening."
Good evening,
Said
Dwayne.
that adds new meaning to Up in Smoke.
Right?
Does, doesn't it?
I just wanted people to understand it was
Yeah,
torture for me to go to school even. Holy shit. That's probably why I'm so smart. Had a lot of time to read.
yeah,
I'm kidding. Adds a new meaning to up in smoke. Yes. Good evening. Good evening. Hello, everybody. There's so many watching. Nice to see y'all.
yeah.
I'm hoping everybody's started their New Year's resolutions. Mine is to make fun of Joe every single day as much as I possibly can. Yeah, wow. Wow. Glad that came out good. All right. Glad you're agreeing, Joe. Thanks.
She always does anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I hope you all liked my new video also.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
That was
You
pretty.
guys should go and like it. It's pretty cool.
I like some of the artwork. I like my artwork. Is that straight? No, I'm my worst critic, I'll tell you that. But all right, what's next? So we had I mean, I could talk about conspiracies if you want, but if you want to go on with the news, do so while I'm sharing.
Well, we could talk about the Las Vegas Cybertruck, that explosion.
Yeah.
It exploded in front of Trump International Hotel at 8:40 a.m. this morning. They're now considering it a terror attack.
Wait, it didn't it have something to do? Wait, where is it? What is this? I don't know what
This
you're
is in
talking.
Las Vegas, Nevada. There was a cyber truck. So this truck pulled up in front of the hotel near the front doors and then exploded in a massive inferno 15 seconds after it arrived. The driver of the truck was killed and the body is still in the truck.
Creepy. And that's a terrorist attack.
They're calling it a terror attack because in the back
People,
of it, the police said in
okay,
the bed of the truck was loaded with gasoline and other fuel canisters. It also had large firework mortars that turned the vehicle into a huge bomb on wheels. So, but because of the strong walls of the vehicle, the blast went like straight up in the
right
air because it couldn't go out to
out.
the sides. So, and there's no name of the driver or anything. I have nothing else
If
on it.
if a news reporter, I didn't mean to interrupt. Are you done with
That's
that?
okay. Yeah.
I have to get this out because I've heard this a couple of times today. It's
Hmm.
very odd. Um, if a news reporter says it's a terrorist attack, there's no such animal. Anything that is going to scare you is going to give you terror.
Yeah, that's called a terror attack.
Right. It doesn't.
If it
So when
scares you, if
people
it
hear terror,
terrorizes you,
when people hear terrorists, though, what do they think, Joe?
yeah.
They
Oh,
think
the Middle Eastern.
9/11.
Yeah,
Oh,
my,
look, I'm
yeah.
doing an Elvis thing right now. They think 9/11. They think the World Trade Center. They think Muslims. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
No, no, no.
No.
No, terror can come from anywhere.
Anywhere, anything, any human
Anybody.
being.
That's right.
It, it, it's the media's way of saying fuck you.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
in control. The media, not even the damn people
Yeah.
causing the accidents.
The scariest person in the world is a human. Any kind of human.
The scariest thing in the world is the freaking media.
That's right. Well, it's a human.
Up with my hair. Oh, I had it braided. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Well, the media is not a human. Well, it is.
Yeah.
They're humans.
Well,
Humans.
that's not the name of the that was the name of the driver. New Orleans was
Was
had
what?
a Muslim name, but
I know.
he was an American and he was an army vet.
You see? But they said terrorism.
Hmm. No,
Don't.
he said that he had made a post that he was inspired by ISIS.
And he had an ISIS flag, didn't he?
Yeah, he had an ISIS flag in the truck. So
Guys,
he was driving a rented truck.
what we need are the psychiatric
Yeah.
we need the psych wards to open it again is what we need. I mean, I feel awful for
It-
anybody who and the number of deaths are up, aren't they?
yeah.
Because I think it was
15.
10 this
There's
morning
15 now instead of the 10 and over 30 still that were hurt.
that were injured, yeah.
Yeah. It
Um,
says it after right before this all happened, I think maybe this has something to do with it, but his ex-wife had filed a restraining order against him
but
right
it was a
after
terrorist
a
attack.
divorce petition.
There
Yeah.
you go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
He was
That,
already losing it.
yeah.
She knew it.
This was a while ago because in 2022, it was in 2020, and then in 2021, it was denied in 2020, and then in 2021 he refiled it, and then in 2022 a judge divorced them on grounds of insupportability.
Huh.
Supposedly the guy was behind $27,000 in his own house payments, and he had two businesses, one of which he was $28,000 behind, and another one was this business was just not worth a damn, worth anything, and it had never gotten off the ground. but it was just there. So
It
nobody
seems
knows
like
what it was.
he was losing it.
He was losing money. He was losing money,
No,
couldn't make
I
no
meant
money.
losing it up
Oh,
here
his brain.
because
Yeah,
everything was going wrong,
right,
including, and
right,
then
right.
what woman wants to stay with a man that has no money?
Yeah, and then he was ordered to pay child support to through the divorce. So yeah, he was really in a bad way. He was really in a bad
There you
way.
go. So you see how that's not terrorism?
No, he was mad.
Right.
He was just mad at the world
The thing is,
because he
we have to
fucked up.
find these people before they
And
torture others. And I blame the fucking wife. I would know, like, regardless if you're separating or divorcing and it's difficult, I think I would still know John enough to see if his mental capabilities were still, you know, good, good, up to the task. It doesn't make sense. Who didn't know this guy? Was he drunk? Was he like, I mean,
was he always drunk? Was he doing some kind of a drug? Or was he just going fucking crazy?
that's it. And how does his friends not know?
You
Does the
have to
man
know.
not have friends? How does the wife not know? I don't care if they're divorced. You have to see, usually you get a divorce, you're still seeing them. Do they have kids? Do it.
Didn't say.
Yeah, I wonder. But a terrorist attack, because we have to bring fear back into the people on New Year's Day.
Yes.
It's sad enough. Why did the media have to say anything worse? Terrible. Rest in peace, people. Sorry, you're not going to make it. See, there's still parts of the devil that's out there, but it's not the cabal. I'm going to say that. I'll pat myself on the back for that one. I'm like, I don't lie when I tell you my life is full of fucking coincidences.
It is. I'm telling you, man.
Joe sees them now. I mean, well,
Hmm.
he's been seeing them for years, right? At least
Yeah.
years. They're just more noticeable and more noticeable. And
They're just like in your face.
yes, they have been lately. All right, what's next? What's next on the
And
news?
so it doesn't say how many kids he has, but he did have to pay child support. So obviously he does have children with her. So, but it doesn't say how many or what.
Okay.
Right, that's all they're all talking about. That's what everybody is talking about this um these attacks. There was an Airbnb in that says could be connected to the Bourbon Street fire. There was
That's, you see, now that, wait, before I took my nap, I remember reading that there's something else about the attack, the terrorist attack. There was something, and they thought that it was part of it, but then you said that Trump's hotel, was it Trump's hotel in
yeah, that
Nevada?
was in Nevada. That was in Nevada.
Yeah, but no, I swear,
That was in
I've
Las
never
Vegas.
seen my phone bing so much. Everybody, like, one found dead, baby killed, father kills family. I'm like, it didn't
So
stop for a day and
much.
a half. It was like
Mm-hmm.
devil's
Mm-hmm.
last licks, my friends.
Yep.
Stay home and
You know,
stay safe.
just like Carolyn was saying, I think they need to have these mental institutions brought back. I mean, look at
And
that. They
it's
had a kid here. He was 14 years old. He went and killed his whole family. He said, he said that the voices in his head told him to do it.
yeah, yep. And he's probably, but
Been to a psych ward already.
that's the shitty thing here is that I do believe that the forces that be, um, because they're, I mean, you just can't explain it. If you can't explain it, it's something else. If it's not human, it's something else.
Mhm.
are just going nutso, and they have been since Trump took office. 9/11 was planned, right? But if it wasn't planned, we didn't have, we had a lot of massacres. We had a lot of bad things happen, but it wasn't like one thing after another after another. I mean, it just seems so,
Crazy.
for lack of a better word, yeah, it's nuts. Everything is freaking nuts.
Mhm.
Look at this. Dems' active plan to block Trump inauguration. No, it ain't been.
They think they're going to. They're not.
They even call it Operation Block Trump. What?
Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
else they came up? You know what else there was talk of? They were talking that well, maybe we should start a shadow government to block Trump. It's like, did they forget that they're not in charge? The people of the country are. And we've elected Trump, not them. I hope they understand that.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. I'm sorry, I was listening to you, but then I see this. This is Breitbart. Researchers backed by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation developed a new method of delivering malaria vaccines using genetically modified mosquitoes.
Yeah, I figure that.
Flying vaccinators. No. I'm gonna laugh at that because I know they're dead. I know they're dead. The real people are dead. When you met Bill Gates, you saw Bill Gates. Did you think he was effeminate? Did you think he looked kind of womanly?
No, he was
Yeah,
very geeky though.
that's fine. Um,
No, he was not.
because the since 2012, I'll say it, so I'll 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 draw it out. I don't know what the hell else you guys want me to do. He was a she and she was a he. I know, oh, Melinda went through menopause and that's what. No, you don't turn into a man. All right, you might have your ovaries are not working as hard and you're not getting the but you don't, your face don't change. You might grow a little hair, but your face don't fucking change. Their face has changed. It's not them. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, Remember what we were watching earlier, Joe?
Hmm.
Come on. Come on. I know it's been a long day. We did a lot of shit. We always
Yeah.
do a lot of shit, guys. We try for you guys and for a lot of other things, but for our own sanity. Um, remember you thought you were like that is one ugly woman. That's
All about the Queens. So
that's
that was
right.
early this morning.
That's right. It was Isabella that I
Hmm.
remember. We didn't get through I had to stop it after a while. But we did get through
Oh
a couple of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
And what
How
was the
inbred they are. Wow, they're very inbred. It's like they would marry. It's, of course they do that. That's how they kept power. That's how they kept the land. They would marry one big family to the next big family. That's just how they did it. That's how things were done. They're very powerful people. They have a lot of money, and people bend to people with that have money because we all us little peons, throughout our lives, we need money to survive. That's how they made us. They made us depend on them and depend on their money to survive. That's how we're able to buy products from each other with their money. It's so weird, but here's what it
you're
is.
on to it though.
Yeah. So that's what we were watching, and it just the more and more that they inbred themselves, the uglier and more deformed they became.
That's right.
No,
That's
it's
right.
just
The thing is, it's coming out. They're proving this kind of stuff. Isabella Ferdinand's is it Ferdinand's of Spain, right? The king and queen of Spain.
yeah.
She, I believe, it was her uncle and her
Mhm.
niece that created her.
Yeah.
And she had he had like yes, exactly, Joe. I mean, you can't. They had the top 10. This kid did so much work, and I'm telling you, these are Q people or military. It seems like they all have a thesis, all have like a little subject that they had to do, and they put it out on YouTube. Hundreds of them, because these are things that we conspiracists have been saying for years, and all of a sudden this research is out. I mean, he had the family tree.
Yeah.
How do you get that info? You have to know somewhere, someone. I mean, you can't, if the cabal didn't want us to know, then Google isn't going to tell us. So where did they get the info? Could it be some of the old books they found? Which there's a lot of them. But it just goes to show that it is the truth.
That's how they keep it in the family. They keep the money in the
Most
family.
literally, they kept it in the
Hmm.
family.
Yeah. It's in
Disgustingly.
the family. Brothers, see, like brothers or sisters would marry somebody of power. And then the child from each one of those, from that union, from one of those unions, would marry each other. Okay. That's how they would do it. That's how they would bring the countries together. That's how they inbred themselves.
Yeah, you
Just keeping the land for
thing is,
themselves, keep it
it
in the
makes me
country. Yeah.
wonder. It makes me wonder who wasn't involved. We saw Hungary, we saw Austria,
Hmm.
we saw Spain.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm gonna guess all kings and queens were involved all over the world.
Oh yeah. They were all doing
The
it.
least I have seen, and I told Joe this earlier, was the Russians and the
They did it too.
Eastern Europeans. I'm not saying it didn't exist there. I'm saying that's just the least I have seen. Like, so maybe the Russians always knew.
They, I'm sure they did it too.
I'm not saying they didn't. If the cabal took over, then they took over. But Russia's a very powerful country. It's huge. It's got a lot of people, and they are such manly men. Oh, they just don't play with that shit. Only in America do we become metrosexual and women get turned. What woman gets turned on to a metrosexual?
Yeah, you haven't been to Brazil, have you? Man, that place is weirdo city.
No,
Hmm.
I've not been to Brazil, but
Oh yeah, they do that. Yeah, they do that shit too down there.
they do
Oh,
what?
that's a bad one. They have this party down there that's just like Mardi Gras, but they take it a step further. Oh yeah, that's weird shit down there.
So,
Yeah, I don't want to go into that. That place is. Well, yeah, we have to look into that before we start talking about it. But yeah,
really? That
yeah,
good? Is
yeah,
it like
yeah.
Fire Island good? Is it like
Weirdo city, man.
I love it. I
You
love
know,
it.
weirdo city stuff, man. Yeah,
Hold on,
dancing.
let me say good evening,
Oh, I have
Alan. Happy New Year's.
yeah, story open.
Dwayne's like Ahmed.
Joseph,
Ahmed.
chat. Sorry, guys.
And they think Florida man is dangerous.
Yeah,
Florida man?
who's Florida, man?
So
Who's
why do you
Florida?
say yeah if you don't know?
Yeah, who's
I thought
Florida,
you
man?
knew. I was waiting for you to say it. I know.
Yeah,
Oh,
tired.
he's talking about Trump, I bet. They think
Oh yeah, maybe
Trump.
so,
That
man.
makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Queen, please tell me
Oh,
up.
compared to the crazies. Yeah,
Orange man,
yeah.
bad. Listen to an old Blackfoot song called Diary of a Working Man.
Mm. Diary of a Working Man. Yeah, I like Blackfoot. I love the song.
Did you ever did you ever see the movie Flowers in the Attic? It's pretty old because I can't imagine why I was watching it so young, but man, I had a really mundane, I liked weird shit. Never heard of it? Anybody out there, what Flowers in the Attic? 'Cause, Mommy Dearest.
I was in the
Um,
attic.
some of these movies I think were very telling. I think I can't remember the whole premise of Mommy Dearest either, but Flowers in the Attic. But the four kids, they hid him up in the attic for some reason. And I don't remember why. Maybe the parents were nuts or something. I just remember, ugh, of course me. I have to remember these parts, right? They're starving. And the kid, the oldest boy, he's probably like 16, 17, 18, I don't know. He takes off his belt and he's telling them to chew the the suede of the belt. And then finally, he wraps his arm up and he cuts he with the belt and he cuts himself a little and has his younger sister suckling on his fucking blood. Where does this shit come from, people? I
Weird.
understand being creative, but something tells me some of these things are just so fucking real.
Let me tell you what it is. It says that this lady she married some guy. She's from a rich family. She had kids, 3 kids, 4 kids,
Or
and the guy, the husband was killed in a car accident, leaving her in debt with no means to support the kids. And on the verge of the house being foreclosed, she reveals to the children that as a young man, her marriage to their father offended her her multimillionaire father, and he disinherited her. And now that he's dying of heart disease, and Corinne intends to return to her childhood home to win back his affection, and because he is unaware of the children by the marriage, she hides them upstairs when he comes to the house until she can figure out a way to break the news to him that she has those kids.
see, children were very important to the Illuminati too,
Yeah,
because they couldn't do it anymore. Because when you're inbreeding, you don't have they come out disabled. Like one of the inbreds that we were listening to today, I'm not sure, I don't think it was Isabella, but one of them had gave 25 births or something and only 5 survived.
yeah.
And there's an inbred family here in America, I think that
The
woman
most inbred family in America.
was
Their
it in
eyes
America?
going all kinds
Because
of
the guy
different
that was
ways.
doing it was a British guy.
Yeah,
Oh my
weird.
God. I
It
mean,
is
it was,
weird.
how did these people even, I don't understand. Like, why?
I don't know. It's just weird. It
It's
breaks up.
very important. Inbreeding is a very important thing to understand, and a very disgusting thing to actually explain. But apparently, it's really true. This is what they did to keep the power. They just did. That's
Yeah.
why I think they had to mess with genetics
Mm,
quickly. Um, Anderson Cooper, Kathy Griffith,
mm.
um, Ellen DeGeneres, George Bush, Tom Hanks. If you look at their eyes, now people are born with beautiful blue and green eyes, don't get me wrong, but theirs are almost like made up. They're made up. They're genetically, but to make them not be so inbred, They did something, you know? They did some kind of genetic thing. What are you doing, Joe?
I have fake eyes. My eyes are green.
No, I'm not denying that.
I
People have
just,
been my husband has the most beautiful blue eyes. It's not
I
that.
just, I know, I'm just teasing. I like to tease. I'm
But
allowed.
their eyes are almost glass. And I'd say they're not even right. Artists notice things. I mean, I don't know. All right, what's next?
Punch.
Talking about inbreds.
Yeah.
Like this is our program.
No.
See, like I made it very clear. When I said I was proud of myself, that I wasn't proud of myself, but I had that dream on the 29th. I said that the cabal is dead. These people that live to 100, because of their foulness, are dying off or dead. And sure enough, that's when Carter dies. So I made a little um, minute short about it. And I really was a stinker. It was a stinker when I said, because Tom Hanks fucked little kids. Because I want people to understand that I am saying this as freedom of speech on YouTube. And apparently I haven't been attacked, not even by Tom Hanks himself. And of course, I'm just a little P. But then you had the Vice channel, VICE, said the same thing. And this is going back 4 years ago. My sister-in-law as much told me, and I remember looking it up and seeing it myself. Not that I didn't believe her, I just wanted to see it myself. Right? This is not fake. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not fake.
Faith is
Ugh.
faith is not knowing but believing anything.
Oh my God, I have so much about the Mars rovers. You know, I think most of the presidents, like Carter might not have been Illuminati himself, although I think he was. They could be nice guys. They're fucking inbred, right? So they might have that part of the lobe missing to be hatred, to show hatred. Who the hell knows? The one that confuses
No,
me is Nixon.
I
I'm pretty sure he wasn't a bad guy, and Joe always says it.
have
Um,
always believed that he was not a bad guy, and I catch hell from everybody. But I look at the guy, I look at his life, I see what he did, and there is nothing, nowhere in his life that he did anything bad, except for, except for tape the conversations that he was having with other high-ranking people that were in the Senate and the House.
Sounds like what Carrie Lake did recently. You know, he was definitely not part of the cabal. They did not have
Right.
a grip on it. They didn't
That's
have a
right.
grip on the presidency yet.
They couldn't control him, and that's what their problem was with him. And
Right.
that's what
They
I
thought they could
believe.
control him. Same
That's,
with Reagan.
am I right?
Reagan,
Oh,
yes.
I
But
believe that.
Reagan is the one that Reagan wasn't bad. It was his wife. Nancy was like a Pelosi. She was fucking mafia.
She was bad.
Drugs, 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 anti-drugs. This is some of the proof. It seems odd, but believe me, it's proof. And Reagan tried to tell us. And what happened to Reagan? He got shot twice for trying to tell us. It's so funny when you're walking with the computer, Joe. It's
Oh,
just
you
so
can
funny.
tell.
I can always tell. It's like make love to me, computer. Whatever. Let's take a second and do the Trump dance. 19 days. Oh, wait, is it after 12 at least? No, it's 11:47 Eastern. Darn it to heck.
That's quite.
Okay, let's see.
That's quite. Well, I had to get a
You had to
drink.
get coffee, didn't you?
I did. I did. Sorry. Guilty as charged.
I do. Okay, okay. I'm sorry, Joe. I know this is gonna upset you, but I gotta ask.
Oh God.
Since we have a few people watching us, I'd like to know what you guys, sorry, ladies, why do you think women wear bras? I'm so sorry, Joe.
Okay. I didn't
When
know
I,
why. Okay. So
no,
what? I
it's
didn't know
fine. I
why.
asked my husband, he goes, I'll tell you
I
later,
have
or
three
something
sisters.
like that. It was like,
I thought it was always to push them up, pull them up. I don't know.
yeah, my husband was like, he was pretty good on it. He was like, because men are dogs.
Thanks, Alan. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, Alan said it. Now, I'm just curious if men understand why women wear bras. All right, there are push-up bras, but you
Right.
didn't have push-up bras when they first came out. And remember my most famous German joke. What do you call a German bra? Gestop 'em from flopping,
You
right?
stop them from flying.
So the most important, we're supposed to believe the most important is to keep them, you know, because women want to be dignified. They don't want to be walking down the stairs and it go. You know, some
Well,
women have
maybe we
a
want to
problem with
see
it
it.
in the
Maybe
face.
we want to see that. Okay. Maybe we just want to see
Men
that.
would love to see that. They would also love to see nipple.
Yeah.
The reason why this came up is because it was because I make fun of boobs all the time. I just don't care. I think it's
Yeah.
funny as shit.
And I ain't got
You
none.
used to have boobs.
I did.
Yeah, but that's a sad story. We
That was a
won't
long
talk.
time ago. That was a very, very long time ago.
It was.
Hmm.
Um, he didn't have women's boobs, guys, but mm, we'll talk about that one other day. But it was like I wish we didn't have to wear them, but we do because it's stuck in men. It you go to like these African countries, countries in Africa rather, some of the smaller ones, I don't know, parts of Zimbabwe's tribes or Zaris or something, right? And these women are walking around, all free. But you couldn't do that here. Men
That
would be
sucks,
like,
dude. Yeah, that sucks.
it does suck.
Hmm.
Um,
Women should walk around topless. That's what I said.
I
I'm
remember
just kidding.
one of my ex-boyfriends and I, we went to the beach,
Hmm.
and he was the hot one. Every girl loved this guy, and I was like, ugh, I don't think it was worth it at some point. But this woman decides to lay her blanket right next to us and go topless, and I'm like, so me, I'm like, what, 20, 21? I'm like nudging my boyfriend. I'm like, look, she's fucking her boobies are, because not that I wasn't jealous or intimidated, but I'm not gonna, I don't give a shit. And most women shouldn't. We all have them. And guess what? Everybody shits too. It's just
No
part of
way,
life. Yeah,
you liar.
I know. I wish, but it happens. And that's like the grossest thing in the fucking world. So, like, I mean, come on. It's life. For some reason, we have to deal. I wonder how much of life is pretend, like things that we don't, like things that shouldn't be like that. Like men and women, because there are women that are like that too, should not have the David Duchovny syndrome, should not be addicted to porn. This should never happen. This is something that they're doing, that they have done, because that's what they like to do. P. Diddy and Epstein, right? You understand? So they had to spread their evil, disgusting ways onto us. And by doing, if we didn't, I wonder in the last 70 years, if we didn't have maybe 60, if we didn't have explicit shows, like any show. you could be watching a good show like Law and Order. I'll give that a hands up because it's a realistic show. Somewhat, not the technology, but some of the
Right.
shit is realistic. And they're like, oh, I don't even know how to explain this. I don't know. Let's move on. I got to think of how to put that
In a better way.
in a better way. That wasn't a good example. Using a good show. All right. He didn't
Mhm.
answer about the Florida man. I'm guessing it is Trump.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else?
Not really, except for that. The last thing I could find was that everybody, you know how everybody's getting rid of the DEI policies, right? Costco is trying to keep it around. So they're urging their shareholders to vote against the
Costco?
push to limit. Yeah, they want to keep it. Yeah. They say that because
I
it
thought
helps
the
them.
Costco guy was pro-Trump.
I don't know, man. Yeah, he was.
The man that died, wasn't he Costco?
Mhm. Yeah. But they had that the corporation had implemented DEI policies because of the Democrats. So, and now they're trying to keep it around. Maybe the guy that took over is still a little liberal.
Where was I going with the oh right.
It's risky. They need to get rid of that DEI. It's very risky. It's not a good thing.
It's bullshit DEI. It's the same as
Well, it takes somebody like me. And the other day, it was so funny because I sit next to this Mexican kid, right? He's a Mexican man. He's younger than me. He's in his 30s, right? He's about 35, 36. He actually has two wives because they both choose to stay with him. They
yes.
won't leave. One won't leave or the other. He doesn't know which one to pick. He's so confused. He calls me, he goes, "You are the blackest white guy I have ever known in my life." Because all bad shit that always happens to me. And it does. So I forgot where I was going with that. I really did.
What?
I forgot where I was going with that.
I know I keep doing that tonight too. But I have a lot on my mind also, so
Yeah,
I
well,
wanted to
there.
go back.
I don't know.
I can't find that picture.
They
So
said it says in the from what they all say. I have heard these stories that in the end of times that there's going to be mass confusion and there's going to be so much crime going on, one thing after the other, all over. Isn't that kind of like now? One thing after the other, all over, no matter what part of the
To
world
discover
you're
the
in.
truth about the face
hold
and
on.
skin color.
Skin color.
That's about Jesus Christ, yeah, but that's not the one I wanted to show you. And I'm sorry, I don't know why that went off.
Skin color
I'm
is
trying, you know what I'm trying to find? Remember that picture I had?
of the queen.
Um,
Is that the one you're talking,
yeah,
or of Washington D.C. the swamp?
that's the one. It was like
No,
1909,
it was
was it?
eighteen
Was it?
eighteen eighty or something like that. Yeah,
I'm so upset.
something like that. It was the Lincoln Monument right after it was built,
That's right.
before
And
anything else was built around it, and it's like all swamp. So yeah, DC is a swamp.
it was swamp.
It's
It was
built on a
such,
swamp. So
I've never seen I mean, I've seen
what I
pictures of
wonder if
this.
maybe the swamp is like permeating upwards and getting into those people's brain over there. Make them all swampy. Bunch of fucking swampy people over there in the fucking east.
It's how
That's why it's
people
all fucked up because your mind's all fucking soggy. God damn it. Come
read
out
the
here, you dry your ass out and
read the
think
chat,
think
Joe.
straight for a bit.
Give me a second. I want to.
Because it's dry out here in New Mexico. New Mexico is very dry. It's so dry, you have to use lotion every fucking day. God damn it. Or your skin starts to hurt. What did Alan say? The only part of the breast covered on the female is the nipple. They show the men's nipple. So what's the difference? It's like how people look down on breastfeeding. I don't look down on it. I don't care. You have to breastfeed your child. You have to breastfeed the child. My wife did it. My wife. We breastfed our children for for their first couple of years of life, and then we switched them to cups.
Did you read the chat, Joe? That's what
Yeah,
I. Oh.
yeah. They talked about boobies
Oh, people.
covering up the boob.
I was gonna say. I think I was gonna say like Law and Order. Like you, like even in Law and Order. Maybe I was doing a good reference because I think I was gonna say even in Law and Order,
Hmm.
which is a good show. You go through strip clubs. They go all over. I mean, it's still the shit of New York.
Hmm.
You're gonna see prostitutes. You're gonna see transvestites, and this even though it's a great show and it means well, and maybe those writers are not cabal,
Hmm.
it's still giving off commands to our subconscious.
Yeah.
And I think, is that what Dwayne said something about breastfeeding, right? That was the list.
Yeah.
It's like how people look down on breastfeeding.
Helen says makes you wonder how many people are buried in that swamp. Hello, Helen.
See, the
Thank
funny
God.
thing about swamps, and actually, it's probably not funny, but bogs and swamps and vances,
Mhm.
marshes, right? They usually have chemicals. There's bogs. I'm not so,
Did they dry that swamp out before they built shit over there and
they
what
would had to have done something.
they did it?
I mean, it was like grassy knolls of crap. Like, I don't know what else. They had to have done something.
Boggy. It looked boggy.
But it's like, but there was also, remember, there was boxes. Damn it. I'm usually good at keeping stuff. And I had it set up too. And I'm like, where'd the picture go? Why is it not here?
Um,
Now I have to go and find in my darn history.
Have a history.
I can't wait till Dana comes on. I want to talk about the flat earth because I'm beginning to believe that the earth was bigger at one time. And if if it takes a millennia or 100 millennia to make a stone of a certain size round in earth, then it's very possible that the earth was flat at one time. You see what I'm saying? So, okay,
Hmm.
so the earth was humongous because it had Jupiter, it had Venus, it had Mars, it had Uranus, you
Yeah.
know, all in it.
There you go. I sent it to you. Found it.
Jupiter.
I found the picture.
Did you?
Yeah,
Why don't you share it, brother?
because I did it on my phone. It's faster on my phone, but right here I'm on the computer. It's just faster.
So let me just I'll find it. I found it, but
In Messenger.
yes. So let me get back to this.
Okay.
So if it was at one time, that is that the right picture? Yeah, that's it. Looks so much smaller. Um, so let's think that maybe, yeah, the Earth was huge and it was such a big rock. It takes so long. I mean, because what Jupiter is humongous, Saturn, they're all huge, right? So if it
Mhm.
was all one and it took so long, to get it oval, and then something came, hit it, right? Now, I'm using the Earth as an example, but we could have been further out in the solar system. We didn't have to be this close to the sun. It just happens to be where our little ball of blue and green marble landed, right? third rock from the sun, which makes it beautiful for human life.
the livable zone,
Right. Where
the habitable
Mars,
zone, the habitable zone.
Mars is just that too far out. It could probably have Mars is probably habitable.
I think it's still in the habitable zone.
It is. It's just a denser atmosphere. But I mean, it's a lot like Earth. It just has no water, but it does have water
Yes, it
because
does.
it talks about, well, it has clouds and it has precipitation. And the clouds that Mars has, we get too, but ours has to be really high in the atmosphere. And it's gorgeous. It's like these pink and reds and you know me with colors. I remember the name of the cloud? Never. But the colors, yeah, I'll remember. It's a, there's just such an amazing, hi, Mama Helen. It's just such an amazing, um, I love watching that stuff. That
Where's what
little
at?
the Curiosity has been on Mars for 10 over 10 years and has this is how crazy it is. I think Curiosity has been on Mars for 10 years and has maybe 500,000 pictures.
Mhm.
The the new ones, the new rover, Perseverance, right, has about 70,000 pictures in 3 months. It's gonna, our technology just got that much better. And I'm thinking, well, we were talking about the drones and where they control them from. Can you imagine controlling something 80 million miles away from us? It's
There,
a
there's a 20.
drone, people. They're using rovers is a drone on wheels.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
There's a 20-minute lag time between the signals from us sending a command to the rovers on Mars and then from them sending it back. It's a 20-minute lag.
What are you asking, Alan? What Mars? We're talking about Mars. Or I'm not sharing, right? So yeah, we're
No,
talking about Mars. Hold on.
yeah,
This is the
Lincoln.
Lincoln Memorial,
Hmm.
which now John Voight, I believe, is oh no, John Voight is in control of the Kennedy Center.
Looks like a swamp, doesn't it? Well, that's right there. Looking, well, right there where they're taking the picture from would be where the monument is, right? I don't know how far that monument is, the Spire Monument, but then they got that little lake in the front, or whatever they call that, the water will be right
I
in the
mean,
front there.
you know, um,
Look, there's a little person in there. Show them a piece of person, Carol.
this looks like a person
There.
to me. I'm not positive. Then
Yeah,
there's some kind of boxes over here. This is not
yeah,
natural. And then you got a house back here, people.
yeah.
This
Right.
doesn't have the year on it. Are you sure it was 18? I thought it was
I don't,
1912.
I thought it was 18. It's, I don't know. Let me
Why
look.
don't you look
Let
it
me
up?
look. Look.
When
Oh,
was the Lincoln Memorial
oh.
built?
When was it born? Uh,
There
Here we
has to
go.
be oxygen on Mars if it has some kind of
Construction of the memorial took 8 years to complete from 14 to 22.
what?
Yeah,
What was it?
1914 to 1922.
That's what I thought it said 1912.
Yeah,
Not 1914 though.
yeah, not 1912, 1914. Henry Bacon was the New York architect who designed the Lincoln Memorial, which
And who
stands at the
built
west
it?
end of the National Mall as a neoclassic tribute to the 16th President of the United States. The construction of the memorial took 8 years to complete from 1914 to 1922. So there you go. I was
I'd
wrong.
like to know if you were right. If they, how would they put, how do you,
Yeah.
God, what a wasteland. Perfect for the fucking government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wasters.
who built it? Does it say who built it? Because I
Yeah, Henry
guarantee.
Bacon. Henry
No, no,
Bacon.
no. I didn't say who was the architect, did I?
Hmm.
I said who built it? Who are the workers?
Oh, I don't know.
The Irish, Joe. It was the
The
Irish.
Irish? Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Well, weren't they at one
But
time
they
they were
weren't
slaves too.
slaves.
They were
What?
slaves still. They were
Yes, they
slaves.
were. I know. I was
Yeah, they were.
joking.
Yeah, they sure as shit were.
All right. Um,
I don't know if you ever watched a movie called The Gangs of New York.
Probably.
That was a
I
very
don't know.
interesting movie. Talked about the Irish as slaves, I thought.
Like the indentured slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's a great word to put to it. Let me no. Everybody were slaves to the cabal.
All of us, every single
Really,
one of us. Doesn't matter
everybody was.
who you are, all of us was.
So my black friends have to understand this. We were all given a bad rap.
Yeah. You know where they fucked up? Where they fucked up was where they let us become educated. That's where they fucked themselves because now they're found out. And now their fucking world is going to crumble to the ground.
Educated, huh?
Well, we know who they
Right.
are now. That's education.
Who controlled the education, Joe?
They did, but still,
No, since when? So how long? How long did they control the education?
quite a while, I'd say.
Guys, I know you hate me
Why?
for saying this. The Bible has got to not be totally true.
Give it.
You had the bad people owning the printing press. You had the bad people owning the churches and running them. You had the bad people in king and queens. You had the
Infiltrated.
bad people that were educated.
The bad people infiltrated.
If you
Evil infiltrates.
if you read anything about the medieval times, people didn't know how to fucking read.
No, they didn't.
How did they know how to read how did they know what was in the Bible?
People told them what was in the Bible.
Who did, Joe?
The priests.
The priests. The priests were good in the morning and bad at night. Not all of them, of course. The indoctrinated ones were.
Some of the nuns too.
Oh, yeah. They had their ceremonies at night. The churches were used for other reasons at night.
Yeah.
And
Scary to
I
think
know
about that.
people have a hard time with this, but if you can believe there was an Illuminati, and if you could believe there was a cabal, and that they ran us for hundreds of years,
Hmm.
then you have to believe that they changed the Bible. I
Yeah.
mean, never mind changing the Bible from 60 languages, which has
Scares me.
hundreds of different. For example, we were going over Z, the Chinese leader Z,
Yeah. XI.
XI, right? But you know
Yeah.
what XI is? And the only reason I know this is because I love
Ele-
Scrabble.
11.
Well, yes, that's the Roman, but
Mhm.
XI in Greek is literally means the number 14. It's not Roman numerals. It means 14 because pi is pi. It's the Greek letter pi, that stands for 3.14345, whatever the hell that is. The Greek letter pi, right? Are we
Mhm.
understanding? That seems weird to me. And yes, it also means the number 11 in the in
That's
Roman.
Roman. Yeah, that's Roman.
Don't confuse.
Languages are different. Yeah, languages are different.
The Chinese read from right to left. You
Yeah,
have
there's only one word that is world. Everybody in the world uses it. It's only one word. It's
what's
only
that?
one word. No. Every language uses no.
Nyet.
Every single one of them
Nyet. We
uses
say
no.
no in Ukrainian.
Yeah, no, no. Everybody knows no.
Everybody
Everybody
does know.
knows no.
Well, everybody
When you
knows
say the word no, when you say the word no, everybody knows no. No matter what language they know the word no. No matter where they come from.
men don't seem to know the word no, especially when we start talking about babies.
Ah, right, there you go.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I think we do. Well, I do. I know what that word is.
You want to read
Read.
the
We
chat?
got come out and play. Dwayne says come out and play. Come out and play what? Bingo. The church was used for bingo after services. What are you talking about, Carolyn?
Thanks, Alan. Making me feel this small. Um, Dwayne is saying, "Come out and play,
I know.
Warriors." There I am, Warriors. Come out and play. No, I don't know what he's talking about actually, but God, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. All right,
That
let's
was a
see.
crazy
Anything
book.
else?
That was a crazy book.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever read the book. I didn't read the book. I would have remembered.
I did. I read. That was a good book. I read it right after I read the book called Contender, which was the very first book I ever read in my whole entire life. It was called The Contender.
Look at that.
My dad gave it to me.
You mean wasn't that a movie with
I don't
Robert
know.
Redford? You
It
could have been a
was, but
contender. I don't know. No, that's a different. No, I'm thinking of the champ. Champ. Uh,
it was about a boxing. It was God, it was so old. Yep, there it is.
it was about boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have been a contender. Yeah, I
17
remember
year
the
old black
line.
man. It was a 17-year-old black man. And my dad gave it to me because at the time, I guess he felt that I was real young and I was probably confused about everything. And my dad was, of course, he was into sports and boxing and baseball and football and they're all and I wasn't. I just didn't like it. My brothers were, my sister was. I just didn't like it. So I didn't play any sports.
I played a lot of
But I
sports.
liked reading. I liked reading and I was the smart kid in school,
You
I
dork.
geek. I was the
Is that why
geek.
I like you? You're
Oh
smart.
no, I
I
was
didn't know that.
I was the bullied kid. I was severely bullied, you
I
know.
shall bully
Okay.
you. Bully, bully.
Yeah.
I shall hit you with comfy
But I think it was
heels.
because I was bullied so bad is why I was so smart. Because I didn't have anything else to do. Yeah, that
I
was
was
it.
never bullied. I would hurt the bullies.
Well, I just found a
Can
way
you
to
hear
love.
that?
Yeah. No, I don't. We can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
Uh-uh.
I mean, that's crazy. It's right here.
It's I guess these computers have got a way to
I know, but that, I mean,
block the sounds. It's so weird.
sure enough, if I like, had an accident or something, it would pick it right up, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing where you guys can't hear when my dog comes up here and starts barking at me, and
No,
she
I can
barks
never hear
loud.
Kona.
She has a
Very, very rarely do I hear, and it's usually because if I bet you see, if I
she has
sing
it,
along with it,
mhm.
it will do it, right? Let's see.
She has that penetrating bark.
Is she? Oh no, it's not working now. Oh no, the little Chihuahua stopped. I wanted to do it for Mama Helen. All right. Anyhow, I wanted to talk a little more about one other thing. Just I'm going back and forth
Mhm.
about certain subjects, and one of them is actually about magic. Because remember, Joe, I was telling you we were talking about the mentalists, and please correct me, is it mnemonics?
Mnemonics.
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 No, you don't pronounce the M. It's like pronouncing the P.
Mnemonics.
It's
No,
mnemonics,
and M.
mnemonic.
Yeah, mnemonics.
He's trying to correct me, and I said it right. Okay. So I want people to understand that these tricks have been around for centuries and that they have used them on us. Um, of course, there are different things. There's things called um, like the Rainbow Ruse, and even I think of Barnum from Barnum and Bailey's Circus. I think he was brilliant. He would have like uh, uh, statements to read people. Like some of these psychics would do. They have these fake ways to read people. They'll ask questions until the people give up, you know, like John Edwards or something. Like the people give up the information to the so-called psychic. And this is the kind of shit that the Illuminati has been playing on us for. There's so many tricks. Like one kid goes over the fact that, and you'll hear it a lot. Um, I mean, if you're a real psychic, first of all, real psychics,
Yeah.
if there was any, they shouldn't charge money. That would be against all morality of having this ability, right? Um,
Mhm.
Secondly, this one kid explains how they learn certain things, like M is the most common initial for women, and J, James and Jim, John,
And
is
John.
the most common for men. So when they go up and say, "Hey, do you have a J around you? Is it Jim, Jimmy, James, Johnny,
Oh my
Justin,
God,
Joseph?"
yes. Oh, James.
One of them is about it because one in every, I forgot how it was crazy how many J's there were
Hmm.
compared to other names. And
Hmm.
and also they study it like by the generation. So in the 70s, maybe Margie was a name, and they know this. So Mary, Margie, Margaret, James Randi, who was a magician, God bless him, I think he's still alive, which is a magic trick of its own. Um, he had $1 million, and I've said this before, I know, for anybody to come and prove that they had any psychic ability. Now, nobody has won this $1 million. Um, I'm so glad that these people are people have paid so much money to them, and they do a lot of damage, just like the cabal, right? There was this guy was telling a story how
Notice how they're
the
not
psychic
around
was
anymore.
trying to help someone, and the guy had lost his wife out of nowhere, 40 years old, and he was seeking. This is when psychics hit, right? When people are most depressed, just like
Hmm.
the government taking control when 9/11 happened, taking more control. It was easy for them at that point,
Hmm.
right? You get them when they're down. So they're saying, so this guy is saying, um, he lost his wife at 40. He went to a psychic. He was crazy. He didn't know what to do. He's crying his eyes out, whatever. Horrible story. And the psychic said, "There's nothing wrong. She's just gonna wait for you." So the guy ends up killing himself, right?
Smart.
The husband kills himself because, well, the psychic says my wife is waiting for me. That's what they did to us,
Mhm.
right in front of our eyes, you know? They played all these tricks on us. They believed in Uri Geller. why I like Randy, James Randi, the magician, not only because he has this $1 million offer and it's in the bank account, he's proved it to all these psychics. There's Van Braun, there's James Edwards, there's Uri Geller, there's all these Sylvia Brown. Um, he had, now get this, this is why I'm bringing this up. He had this other guy, he's called wow, he's got a very strange name. Apparently, it was like an old TV show that he took it off of, the Kardazak or something like that. His name is.
Mm.
He's a mentalist, like the most renowned mentalist probably in the world. As a kid, James Randi hired him and a couple of other mentalists to go and fool who? Our fucking scientists, people.
Nice.
For 4 years, they tricked the scientists. They when the gig was up, if the gig was up, if the scientists figured it out, they James Randi's brilliant. They had rules and regulations. Like if they asked, "Are you magicians? Are you fake?" In 4 years, they would have had to say yes. Fucking scientists didn't even ask them that. They did such an old trick that I even remembered it. They took a little match. Remember matches that came
In the box.
in the box and would slide out,
Hmm.
right? So they put a matchbook on them. The scientists went crazy. They put a matchbook on them and they're like, look, and the matchbook raised up. It would go like the matchbook was down this way and it raised up like this. And they couldn't figure. And you hear the scientist. There's a couple of them that they're interview. Oh, we definitely believe in the paranormal now. There's no such, and the sophisticatedness and the words that are coming out of the scientist's mouth. And meanwhile, he's being fooled by mentalists, young mentalists. So, the matchbook goes up and James Randi, he goes, well, like, I wonder how they ever did this. Well, all they did was they opened the matchbook up and they put when they close it, a bit of the skin gets in the back of the matchbook, right? So when they tighten just a little bit, that matchbook goes up.
Hmm.
4 years, our scientists didn't get this from bending spoons and all these other weird things. They never caught it. Now, what does that say about us? It says we're easily fucking fooled. All people, there is nobody. And the Illuminati, if they didn't inbreed themselves that much, they could have really still had power. Well,
Yep.
I think I've said enough. Wow. I'm glad you
That
like the
was good.
story, Ellen. I
That was a
really
good
try.
one.
I mean, these things, I have more in-depth um research on that. I just
Mhm.
didn't even think I'd bring it up tonight, but it just goes with certain other things. I just want you to go. Um, David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear on TV.
I remember that.
It was all about lighting.
That's all.
That's all it was. They made you think that the Statue of Liberty was in back of it. They had lights where the Statue of Liberty should have been in the middle of.
Right.
But since it's so dark and you only see the lights, you assume that's where it is.
Right.
And then they only had like 10 people in the audience watching. They had to sit in a certain area, like they looked squished. And then the TVs, the cameras were in back of all these people. It had to be in that because it's perception and lighting.
Right. That's illusion.
And he's one of them. He's don't tell me that guy never had a little kid in his life. Oh my God. Sometimes you could just tell, you know? You could just tell that they're just disgusting little creeps. And that guy, and most magicians I would think are Like at least from that era, maybe not as much now. Like David Blaine and all that. I don't know, but
Hmm.
we're gonna find out about all of them.
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
Will Smith.
Very soon.
I don't know why Will Smith came up, but because he's the black guy everybody loves, you know? The
Indeed.
jazzy, jazzy, jizzy,
Jizzy.
jizzy, jazzy, jazz, whatever the fuck he was. You know, Prince of Bel-Air. No, no. Just because he wore pink and purple jackets doesn't mean he didn't get sodomized. All right.
It's just
It's it's what they did, and it's what the kids went through. And the where we thought growing up everything we learned was normal, so did they.
yeah.
But they had a big dark secret. And now you guys are aware of it. Love you guys. Love
Love you,
y'all.
man. Peace out.
Joe's a bit tired and so am I. So have a
I work
wonderful
tomorrow.
evening. Happy New Year, prosperous, healthy,
Mhm. First
and
day.
Trumpful.
2025 is here.
Let's do the Trump. Let's do the Trump. Let's do the Trump. Do the Trump. Mm. I love you all. Joe, don't do that. You look like an idiot. I told you it's my New Year's resolution. Make fun of Joe every day, Joe. All right, that's going into a we're making that into a short.